The scholarship list came out, and my principal, Mr. Harrison, called me into his office. Again. Okay, Ashley, so the schools decided to give the merit scholarship to Brittany Miller this year. You know, he started, avoiding eye contact. I practically leaped out of my chair. What? Why? I've had the highest GPA for 3 years straight. I've won 8 national awards, 10 state awards, and countless others. I've been top of the class every semester. Brittany? She's barely passing. Why? Mr. Harrison's face turned sour. Ashley, don't push this. Her dad is the VP of Stellar Tech. You. He looked me up and down with a disdainful stare. You're just some farm kid. What kind of pull do you have? I didn't need to compete with Brittany. Seriously. I glanced at a photo on Mr. Harrison's desk, a handsome, successful-looking man with a bold caption. If you can do it, so can I. That was my dad, Richard Rick Johnson, one of the richest guys in the city. He seriously loaded. Then I noticed the wallpaper on his phone. It was a picture of my mom, the iconic actress, Michelle Rose, who's been at the top of her game for over 2 decades. She's won every acting award you can think of. Wait a minute. Stellar Tech? That's one of my dad's many smaller companies, and I'm their only kid. My parents' wedding was a huge deal, plastered all over magazines. But after that, they went into incognito mode, keeping my life super private. No wonder the paparazzi haven't gotten a glimpse of my face. Do I really need to fight Brittany for a scholarship? I left the office with a casual, I'm not okay with this. If you give that scholarship to Brittany, I'll report the school. Mr. Harrison was practically yelling, but I walked out like a boss. Right outside the office, I ran into Brittany. Talk about bad timing. She had this smug little smirk on her face. Mr. Harrison talked to you, I bet. Just give it up, Ashley. If you're nice, maybe my dad will throw some change your way. Her posse jumped in immediately. Brittany, why are you even talking to her? She's a nobody, a hick from the boonies. One of Brittany's lackeys nudged my shoulder. Another one, practically snorting, said, Brittany's allowance is probably more than she makes in a year. Look at her clothes, all sweaty, and smelling like hay. They pinched their noses like I was the foulest thing they'd ever smelled. Brittany strutted up to me, giggling behind her hand. Probably smells like cow manure, right? She has to get up early to milk the cows. Tell you what, I can ask my dad if he needs a janitor for the company. Maybe your parents could apply. Ha ha ha. They all cackled. So fake. Brittany looked down her nose at me. Ashley, I'm warning you. Don't try to be a hero here. My dad could get you kicked out of school with one phone call. I'd once mentioned to a classmate that my parents sold some cows to pay for my tuition. Now, with my quiet lifestyle, everyone assumed I was some farm girl. What they didn't know was my grandpa owned a cattle ranch with like, thousands of cows. He was the one who insisted on selling a few to give me a welcome to college gift, and that included a 7-figure sum into my bank account. I just stared at Brittany. You know what? You've got spinach in your teeth. Oh, and your breath stinks. I turned and walked away, leaving Brittany sputtering and yelling in my wake. Time to go home. As soon as I got home, my grandpa, wielding a herding stick, nearly tackled me at the door. My grandbaby, I've missed you. I could smell the cowish aroma on him instantly. He'd come by to drop off some more fresh beef. My family was set for life, and my parents had tried to convince him to quit the farm, but the old man insisted, said it was his passion. As long as he was healthy, we didn't push it too much. My darling daughter, you're finally here. My mom, mask hanging halfway down her face, zoomed towards me. Between her natural beauty and all the self-care, people thought we were sisters. Mom kissed me all over my face. My dad, fed up, finally came out. Okay, that's enough. It's been a week. Mom rolled her eyes at him. It's all your fault for sending her to boarding school. I've been worried sick, losing sleep, starving myself. She squeezed a tear out to demonstrate. I sighed. My family was full of drama queens and kings. Mom grabbed my arm and kept inspecting me. You've lost weight, my sweet girl. Grandpa chimed in. Don't push yourself so hard. We've got enough money. Don't wear yourself out, or your grandma will haunt me from the grave. Dad added, yeah, you're our only child. If you get hurt, what would we do? Fine, I get it. Mom wanted me to be an actress. Dad wanted me to manage one of his companies, and Grandpa wanted me to take over the ranch. But none of that was what I wanted. I just wanted to go to college and contribute to scientific research. During dinner, Mom mentioned a science competition I'd been preparing for. Your Aunt Monica said the questions are challenging. Sounds really interesting. That's what really ticked me off. Not only did my principal give the scholarship to Brittany, but he also wanted me to participate in a competition for the school. Yeah, right. I'm not going, I said, putting my fork down. Grandpa immediately sensed something was up. What happened, honey? What's wrong at school? Nothing, I lied, gritting my teeth. I didn't want to be like Brittany, who was getting ahead because of her dad. Speaking of her dad, I turned to my dad. Dad, do you own a company called Stellar Tech? He looked blank. He owned so many companies. Then Mom smacked him upside the head. That's the first present you ever gave me. How could you forget? Dad's eyes lit up. He remembered. It was named after the character Mom played in her first major role. He'd handed it over to her to manage, but sadly, Mom was an amazing actress, but a terrible business person. The company tanked. Dad kept it afloat anyway. A happy wife makes a happy life, right? I think Mom should go there this weekend. The next day, I went to school as usual. The scholarship was still going to Brittany. In class, Mr. Harrison was practically patting Brittany on the head. Everyone, let's all be like Brittany, someone who excels in every area. Give her a round of applause. Brittany's cronies clapped like crazy, while throwing me looks that were equal parts smug, mocking, and just plain mean. The whole school, pretty much, knew her dad was a VP at Stellar Tech. Not for long. I smiled. Behind me, the other kids were whispering. Did you hear? That scholarship was supposed to go to Ashley, but Brittany got it. Yeah, it sucks, but Brittany's dad is super rich, VP at Stellar Tech. pays them lots of money. Yeah, that's why the teachers treat her like a princess. How much money did they get under the table? Shoo, be quiet. If Brittany hears us, she'll come after us. After class, Brittany sashayed over, waving the scholarship certificate in my face. This scholarship was a done deal from the start. You really shouldn't have bothered trying to compete. You embarrassed yourself. Her minions piled in on cue. Yeah, Brittany is the best. Brittany knew what I told Mr. Harrison. I'm warning you, Ashley, don't cause trouble, or you'll be kicked out of school by tomorrow. I knew. Brittany wanted to go to an overseas school and needed a scholarship. It was all so predictable. Wait, Stellar Tech wasn't a huge company, and it's been losing money. How did Brittany's dad have so much cash? I looked at her. What's your dad's name? Brittany giggled and put her hands on her hips. Trying to get in with us? She poked me in the chest with a long, painted fingernail. My dad's name is Greg Miller. She was so proud, looking down at me. Her cronies looked down at me too. Greg Miller. I silently registered the name. That afternoon, the school gathered in the gym to celebrate Brittany and her success. The whole thing was a mess. I stood in the crowd, listening to the principal's drone over the loudspeaker. Everyone, we have a special announcement. We are so proud of our star student, Brittany Miller, who, through sheer will and determination, has won a state-level award. Let's give her a big hand, the students muttered. She got the award cause of her dad. She gives money to the school. Yeah, what did she do? She's not smart, she's not nice, and she has zero athletic ability. Yeah, but her dad's rich. In this day and age, you need money to succeed. I feel bad for Ashley, she's so smart, but they just gave it to Brittany anyway. Ashley's parents are not doing well. They had to sell some cows to pay her fees. The students cast pitying looks at me. On stage, Brittany grasped the microphone, tears welling up in her eyes. First, I want to thank my dad, who is the VP of Stellar Tech. He has always made endless sacrifices for me. She was even crying. The rest of the speech was a long, rambling essay, called My VP Father. I mentally counted down the days to graduation, 2 months away. How long would her dad be a VP? While I was pondering, the students started gasping. Look. I looked up. A line of black SUVs were pulling up in front of the school. 1, 2, 3. There were 8 of them. The cars looked familiar. Then, one of my classmates shrieked, "Isn't that the State Education Board vehicles?" Everyone turned toward the entrance. Even Brittany stopped talking. A woman in a tailored suit, a pair of shades, and bright red lipstick got out. She surveyed her surroundings with an intense look. Wait, that face looked familiar. She took off her sunglasses. It was Aunt Monica, my mom's best friend. What was she doing here? Before I knew it, Mr. Harrison ran off the stage and did a full-on sprint towards Aunt Monica. He was bowing and scraping. "Ma'am, it's a pleasure to see you. What brings you here today?" Aunt Monica pulled her hand away and took a wipe and cleaned her hands. Mr. Harrison's face froze, but he still plastered a fake smile on his face. He pulled a starstruck Brittany to Aunt Monica. "This is Brittany, she just won a school scholarship." Aunt Monica threw the tissue in the trash and said, "Someone reported that you guys give scholarships unfairly." Mr. Harrison started to panic. "No way. We always choose students based on their merit." Aunt Monica put her glasses back on. "We'll find out." Her presence was so intense that everyone around her went quiet. Before I could react, Mr. Harrison's voice came out from behind me. "This is all you, right? Ashley, I swear, if this is you trying to get back at the school." I shrugged. I said I was going to report them, but I did not actually do it. I looked at her. I was nervous. What if Aunt Monica recognizes me? I'm going to make your life a living hell, Mr. Harrison said under his breath. Right then, Ashley? Mr. Harrison hadn't walked away yet, but then Aunt Monica gasped. She was running towards me. I thought, oh no. Aunt Monica practically jumped on me. "Ashley, is that really you? It's been so long. How's your mom?" The whole school went silent. Brittany was frozen. The kids stared, mouths agape. Mr. Harrison was stuttering. You know, each other?"